On today's episode of the Fumblerooski podcast, Rashee Rice, boy, America's most stand-up citizen does it again. DUI charges this time. Stafford signs a one-year, $53 million extension. Rodgers announces that 2026 will be his final season. Joe Schoen receives a multi-year extension. Top 5 NFL safeties and an AFC East preview for the 2026 season. All that and more. This is the Fumblerooski podcast.
It may not have always showed it in the stat sheet, but you can see him making throws when he needs to make the throws.
Back-to-back games where he has 3 touchdowns. Someone's got to get that 6 or 7 spot.
He's an elite wide receiver as a rookie.
Truly a lose-lose scenario for both sides.
Welcome to the Fumblerooski podcast by Secret Weapon Consulting. We got CJ, we got Tuck, we got myself, Chris, for today. How was you guys' weekend? Good Memorial Day weekend for you?
Decent. I can't complain, but
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Work
Nice.
as usual.
Hey, that's all you can ask for, man. That's all you can ask for. I mean, Rashee Rice, he had a pretty tough start to his Memorial Day weekend. DUI charges, sentenced to 30 days in prison.
Man,
And he just does it again. He just keeps on doing it.
yeah, he has a problem. I'd be on like the Stephen A. Smith stuff, like stay off the weed. But as of recently, I've been watching edits, and one of the edits I've been watching is the Josh Gordon edit when it comes to like Max Kellerman talking about the situation, and it's giving me like a new perspective on the situation. And so I think he has like a legitimate problem. I wish him nothing but the best. I want him to seek counseling and get better. But at the same time, this is very unfortunate for the Kansas City Chiefs because I'm not sure if there's going to be any more disciplinary action coming from the league or the Kansas City Chiefs themselves, but this is a problem. First, it was the car accident. Then it's this. If he doesn't get a grip on things, this can spiral out of control in a hurry. And he's just getting back from injuries last season. We know how talented he can be when he's on the field. Patrick Mahomes knows how talented he can be when he's on the field. The Kansas City Chiefs are better with him on the field than without. But this is not going to help them at all gain team chemistry with the new additions to the team. This is a rough start to the offseason for Kansas City. And they just got a good draft class. And now they have to deal with Rashee Rice potentially being suspended for God knows how long if the league decides to take action. So, yeah, this is unfortunate. I wish him nothing but the best, but the struggle continues.
Oh, my God. Rashee Rice is trying to speed run Antonio Brown's path to being dumbest NFL player ever. Because not only were you already in legal trouble, you decide, I'm just gonna add to it. That would be great. DUI. Really? Driving under the influence? And when his driving skills were already questionable in and of themselves. Oh no, my fellow Americans, he had to make it so much worse. And the thing is, the fact that he's got to spend 30 days in the slammer, do you know what that means? He can't rehab. He will not be allowed to rehab, which could it be a big deal? Honestly, it might. Because apparently he's not 100% yet. And now that he can't rehab, I mean, maybe I'm making it bigger than what it is, but
no, CJ.
Without it, that could really screw him up for the start of the season, and that's if the league doesn't suspend him.
Well, CJ, that's just from like the original surgery. He had another surgery that cleaned some other shit out too.
Exactly, and he needs to rehab that as well.
Yeah,
and like I said, am I making too big of a deal out of it? It's possible, but 30 days that you will not be allowed to rehab.
I mean, I think it probably depends on when the original comeback day was supposed to be. I mean,
But he's not 100% right now. That's the thing.
I mean, Adam Schefter was talking a good deal about it on ESPN the other last week. So I mean, it's a big enough deal for that.
Yeah, well, if Schefter said it, then then there's definitely some merit. I just, if you're the Chiefs, how much longer can you put up with this? Because we keep hearing all the time, your best ability is your availability. Well, and I know that saying is usually directed at stars who are injury prone, but he's not even just injury prone. He has off the field problems too. So if he's not on the field, you get to play the game. Oh, is he hurt or can he just not behave himself? So honestly, I don't know. But like Tuck said, he's got to go to therapy. He's got to do something. He's got to get his head screwed on right because he has some legitimate talent and he is doing everything he can to hightail it out of the league.
Yep.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, and it's like this is the type of like a guy like Rashee Rice he just pisses me off. Like, and there's so many other guys in the league and sports that just do this stupid shit. And, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Breed and Fahoko.
What? Oh, never mind. On my end, Tuck, I don't know what happened to you, but Chris, you just kind of froze on my end.
Oh, am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
You're good now. Tuck, did you see that too or no?
No, I still heard him well, so I didn't.
Oh.
It didn't freeze for me.
Okay.
Sorry, Chris.
You guys, you're good. You guys familiar with Breed and Fahoko?
Yeah.
Yes.
What about him?
He's on Twitter, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's a bit of a podcaster now. Obviously, former NFL player, played for the Chargers, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's been pretty vocal about. He's been mainly vocal about the Abdul Carter and the Jackson Dart thing that happened over the weekend too. But he made a really good tweet that kind of standpoints how I feel. Good to know a teammate cares more about my political beliefs than me beating the shit out of my spouse or going 100 plus on the freeway. He really cares about me. And it's like, truthfully, he's not wrong. And yeah, if Abdul Carter doesn't call out Jackson Dart for doing the Trump thing, then maybe I'm not having this conversation, or maybe I'm not feeling a certain way about Rashee Rice or just any athlete for that matter that's done any of the two things that Fahoko mentioned in regards to getting DUIs, doing 100 on the freeway, and Rashee Rice has done both of those. And obviously being the shit out of your spouse, which Tuck knows a good deal about athletes being their spouses. No disrespect.
Funny.
Whoa.
Ha ha.
But like, you get what I would love to see a teammate or just any sort of NFL player be like, at the very least, pull this motherfucker aside and be like, dude, and never mind Rashee Rice, anybody for that matter, because it is such a disservice to yourself. It's a disservice to the fans. It's a disservice to just football in general. And a guy like Rashee Rice isn't going to get any more punishment from the Chiefs. He's going to fucking play in 2026.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Like, that's at the end of the day, yeah, he's going to play in 2026, and we're all going to end up talking about football at that point. But the fact remains the same. Like, teammates need to be teammates and check their boys about this type of shit, because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I had to agree with Fahoko. Look, this goes beyond Jackson Dart's personal views and what he thinks off the field. But Fajoko's right. Where's this energy when these players do some legitimately heinous things? I mean, for example, there's still a market. He's a free agent right now, but there's still a market for Tyreek Hill. And you know what? I'm just going to say it. I don't care who hears it. He's awful. He's an awful human being. I don't care that he's a future Hall of Famer. He beats his girlfriends. He beats his kids. And there's still a market for him. It's like, oh, someone's going to sign him for training camp so that they can have a weapon when he's fully healthy. Or and look at all the chances Antonio Brown's got. Or that he got when he was in the league. Yeah, he's iffy. I mean, look, I don't care that he's a future Hall of Famer, but Adrian Peterson, we just gotta forget him going ape shit on his kid, and now it's like, oh yeah, he's so great. He's just, it's like I just feel like the outrage is misplaced. And look, maybe they do have discussions like internally, right?
Yeah.
And maybe it doesn't come out to the public, but I also want to tie this back. This isn't even about the Jackson Dart, Abdul Carter nonsense, because that doesn't, or it shouldn't affect on-field play. But this kind of reminds me of the Mike Vrabel, Diana Rossini thing, where all the Patriots haters were saying Vrabel should be fired. He should be suspended by the league. They're upset that Vrabel's not going to get any punishment. Well, I got news for you. Vrabel not getting any punishment, right, and stuff like that, and this whole Jackson Dart thing, this isn't, both of those I don't think are even in the top 20 of the worst things that the league's going to let slide. And it's not even in the top 20. Hell, it's probably even the top 50. Forget things that have been allowed to slide. This is not even the top 50 worst things that have happened in the league. And and it's kind of like that. It's like, oh, Jackson Dart has some interesting views, and Abdul Carter does not like that. He doesn't care for it. Then it's like, oh, Mike Vrabel had an affair with a reporter. Then it's like, oh, meanwhile, this player beat his kids again. This player's beating his wife. Oh, whatever. It is what it is. It's like, I just feel like that gets glossed over, and the NFL really doesn't seem to have a handle on this at all. And I'm sure you all have heard the terminology. It's called the wheel of discipline, where the NFL hands out punishments seemingly at random. They say, oh, you get a 2-game suspension, you get 4, you get 6. It's like there's no consistency, like at all. And it's so weird. The NFL's got to change something, because sure, we love, the whole tabloid stuff about Jackson Dart, Mike Vrabel, etc. But when players actually break the law, like I said, this isn't about violating the league's code of conduct. This is, you should be in jail for what you've done. If any one of the 3 of us on this podcast did what Rashee Rice's did, we're not seeing the light of day again, probably until we're 40. So it gets to a point where whenever there's outrage, I just can't take it seriously anymore. I genuinely can't, because they don't keep that same energy for the legitimately horrible people that, hit people they probably shouldn't, among other things, or at least drive recklessly and hurt people that way.
I see your point, but I think the thing we have to remind ourselves is, in order for someone to get help, they would have to acknowledge the fact that they need help. And sometimes it doesn't matter how many times you want to help somebody. If they do not recognize that they need help, or even the fact that even if they do recognize that they don't want help, there's only so much you can do on your end. At the end of the day, they're the ones responsible. They're the ones that got inside the car and decided to make the decisions they made. They're the ones that decided to do drugs. They decided their actions. So as much as we want to blame other people and not hold them accountable, it could be just the simple fact is they want to. The other guy just doesn't want to be held accountable by them. So it's unfortunate for what's happening with Rashee Rice. It's unfortunate that this is a consistency that happens in the NFL. Hey, some people just don't want to be saved or don't want help. And we just got to deal with it as a consequence, because we have to read about it in the tabloids. We have to see it in everyday life.
Yeah. No, and I completely agree with that too. I think that at the same time too, though, you can only help a guy out for so long before you finally realize he's not going to be saved. But it's more just like the way that accountability is being handed out is what's frustrating to me. Like we're trying to hold a guy like Jackson Dart accountable for being a Republican, whereas Rashee Rice, he finally is now serving jail time. He's not even this isn't even related to the car accident that he was in. This is related to a DUI charge, which he probably could have done jail time for the car accident himself. That's all I'm going to speak on, because I don't know the rest of the facts of that case, but
But you know what's even? Oh, sorry.
No, you can go.
Now to say, you know what's even worse? This shouldn't even be the worst scandal Kansas City's going through. Are you aware about their defensive backs coach?
Oh, do tell.
Yeah. Kansas City Chiefs defensive backs coach Dave Merritt was arrested all the way back in April 22nd, over a month ago, for a domestic battery incident regarding his daughter. He's facing a Class B misdemeanor for causing bodily harm to his daughter. And, and that just didn't happen. If you're the league, it's just, oh, yeah, Kansas City's looking at the matter internally, which is a fancy way of saying not a damn thing's going to happen. But, oh, yeah, let's look at who's hooking up with who and who believes what. I got someone out there beating their daughter, a coach, mind you, and they're just like, yeah. It's like, I can't take anything seriously anymore. Where's the outrage?
Yeah. And in baseball, the MLB does a much better job of holding motherfuckers accountable. You guys hear about the alleged chicken fighting thing going on? Cockfighting?
Oh yeah, I heard about it.
Oh my goodness. I ended up hearing about 2 different cockfighting rings in the matter of 2 days that were not even relevant to each other. The one about Edwin Diaz, the closer for the Dodgers, and then something else. I forget what it was. I think it was probably another baseball player, but
what is he doing?
Edwin Diaz, I don't fucking know, man. He tore his ACL or what was it? Maybe he got Tommy John, one of the two, in some random postseason game, and now he's on the Dodgers doing whatever the fuck.
Huh. But yeah, but once again, outrage and the lack thereof is just really, I can't take really anything seriously anymore. I just can't.
Yeah. I know I bring up the cockfighting ring stories and nothing has been done about Edwin Diaz yet, but yes, you guys know about Wander Franco, right?
Oh, yes, I am aware.
Yes. The minute that story came out, he was basically blackballed from the league, just like that,
and rightfully so.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure they ruled on it the other day. But anyways, which he was found guilty. Anyways, let's something a little bit more lighter now. Stafford signing a 1-year, $53 million extension with the Rams. Boy, that's a fat chunk of money. Golly.
Yes, it is.
Or 55 million, not 53. But either way, still a fat extension, and can rise as much as 60 million with incentives. Scheduled to make 40 mil this year. Of the 55 million extension, 5 million is a roster bonus, fully guaranteed at the signing. The remaining 50 becomes guaranteed at the start of the next league year, so 2027. And the 5 million each year in incentives is tied to playoff success. So he's now tied to the Rams through the 27 season with $105 million remaining on his contract, including the incentives.
Man,
that's massive.
I bet you his wife is happy he didn't settle for the backup quarterback at Georgia.
Yeah.
Golly, what a pull.
Golly. Common ball. Come on.
I mean, ball knowledge. But congratulations to Matthew Stafford. 53 million seems a bit rich, but since he's coming off an MVP caliber season, I'll say deserved. I'm not going to complain. It's only 1 year, and I think this is just to further continue the chance of them winning a Super Bowl with the time frame that they have now, while waiting for Ty Simpson to progress and develop. So I understand why they gave him this fat contract. I don't have a problem with it. Sooner or later, they're going to have to pay Puka, though.
Yeah. I feel like it's just more interesting because this is a 38-year-old about to be in his 18th season in the NFL, and he gets the bat this big of a bag.
Mm-hmm.
obviously he's coming off of an MVP year, but like you never know, man. Like the drop off and the rise of quarterbacks is very apparent, and like we had this conversation preseason of last year, and we're like, oh, is Stafford done, this and that, but like obviously showed that he wasn't done because he won fucking MVP. But like, who's to say he actually does it again? That's kind of where my head is. But CJ, what are your thoughts?
Well, honestly, I don't view this as groundbreaking as most because it's not telling us anything that we don't already know. Surprise, surprise, ladies and gentlemen. The Los Angeles Rams are in win now mode. Look, they got 1, maybe 2 years left to try to win a ring with this current core. And they want to keep Stafford around, maybe develop Ty Simpson. But I mean, this just makes sense, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. Like, I mean, this once again, I don't want to sound like a dick, and I don't mean it that way at all, but this doesn't really tell us anything that we didn't already know. They're going all in, and this just further proves that they're going all in.
Yeah. No, it's not disagreeing on that. I mean, everyone knows they're all in. They've been all in since the moment that they got Stafford to begin with.
Yeah. But now that I kind of want to see something. I remember there's this old video of like, well, it happened like a year ago where the Rams are like in like a practice like team meeting, but all of them have like a money thing that goes up for each second. One may go faster, one may go slower. I kind of want to see Matthew Stafford money just like exponentially go up, like shoot through the moon because of how fast it'll go because of that new contract. But
yeah,
I kind of want to see what Jarrett Verse will do this year, kind of, since they're in win now vote mode. He's a great player. He's solid. I think he's underrated because even though the numbers don't say it, I think he's more of a problem than people realize. But he needs to get more stats. He needs to get double-digit stats because he's in year 3 now. So this is the time whether or not, you sign him to a long-term deal or you wait for the next 2 years. So this will dictate what happens then. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
What was the McVay thing you guys were talking about? We were talking about before the show.
He went on bussing with the boys, and one of the things that came up was the handling of the way like quarterback situations. And the one he brought up where he regretted was Jared Goff. He explained himself in the sense that he didn't handle it the best of ways, and he understands how Jared Goff felt about it because from Jared Goff's standpoint, he didn't know about it until it happened. Like he felt blindsided by it and he was rightfully upset about it. And now looking back on it, Sean McVay can understand why he was so upset about it. And I believe they had a conversation about it. But to Jared's point, it's like, I understand why it happened, but at the same time, he wasn't explained to as that. It's more like it happened and no one told me it was going to happen.
Yeah.
I think he understood, like in 2020, his play wasn't excellent. Like he was dealing with the hand injury and quite frankly, the play wasn't up to snuff. So it's understandable why they wanted to get rid of him and get Matthew Stafford, but the way everything was just handled, he understands the way it happened and he learned from that and thought like it should be. He'll do better from this experience based upon what he did do last time and how he's evolved since then.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I
like it too. It showed he had accountability about the situation. I liked how he addressed it. He didn't run from it. He acknowledged that he could have handled the situation better. I think maybe one day Jared Goff can get over it, but that's going to be a mighty long one day, though.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that whole thing was just a weird situation. I remember it pretty vividly. But
at least Detroit turned out to be good because I remember in like 2021, when he first got there. They got their first win against Minnesota, and it was like,
It was like week 15, week 14. It was like they were like 0-13 or something like that.
0-13 and like 1 or something. And they finally got that win against Minnesota, and it was like a big win.
Yeah.
So I was happy for them. And then it started what Detroit was going to become, because the next season they started off bad but finished strong, and then they eventually became a playoff team, and then made it to the AFC Championship game. NFC Championship game. That was pretty damn good, and beat the Rams on the way to that NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it turned out good for Goff, but at the beginning, I really do believe they sent him to Detroit to die. I do think that.
It still wasn't a win-win trade, though. The Rams are the clear winner.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. And if Detroit won a Super Bowl, I think it'd be closer.
Oh, wait, no. If Detroit wins a Super Bowl, then it's truly a win-win trade. But I know someone's a Lions fan. We were going back and forth. He's like, "Oh, it worked out well for both." I'm like, "No, the Rams won the trade, but we're good again." It's like, well, the Rams got a ring, and the Lions became fun to watch. Yeah, okay, that seems kind of lopsided in my humble opinion.
I don't think it's lopsided considering how ass Detroit was at the time.
Okay, not lopsided, but would you rather be a team that's fun to watch, or would you rather have a ring? I mean, I think
I'd rather have the ring. I agree that the Rams won the trade, but Detroit becoming like contenders and actually getting the number 1 seed wasn't bad. And I thought they would go like all the way, but then they lost in the second round in the divisional to the Commanders. What the F? They had, well, to be fair, their defense was paper mache, but
yeah,
still.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. Congrats to Matt Stafford.
Yeah. Speaking of old ass quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, 2026 will be his last. This was what, like days after he announced he signed with the Steelers, he made this announcement. But yeah, I guess we'll use this time to reminisce of the greatness of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Oh man, Aaron Rodgers. He's finally calling it a day. I'm happy for him. I'm glad he's finally starting to go off into the sunset and join Tom Brady collecting those AARP checks. It's about damn time.
AARP doesn't give out checks, but okay.
Just walk with me here. I'm happy for Aaron Rodgers. Congratulations to him. Future Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, one of the most accurate quarterbacks of all time. He was absolutely sensational in his prime. I know we challenged his career and we thought there could have been more accomplishments there, but as far as individual, he still had 4 MVPs. It's just team success was his downfall. If he had a bit more team success, I think we would look at him a bit more fonder. But since that didn't happen, it just so even though it didn't end well, the back half of his career as far as team success, we all know he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Or should be. Let me clarify. He should be, because you know how they are. So
true shit.
Congrats to Aaron Rodgers. I hope for you to have a very good season for your final season. Don't get me wrong, we're still going to bust that ass when you come and face the Ravens, but congratulations on a hell of a career, and may you rest off into the sunset.
My favorite Aaron Rodgers moment on this show specifically was Adam and Chris basically tearing each other apart over the Hail Marys. About who deserves more credit. I don't remember what happened, but I just remember they were going at each other, and I'm just sitting there like, yeah.
Was Adam going for Brady in that argument?
No, it wasn't a Brady.
No, it was just Hail Marys.
Rodgers Hail Marys, and are they impressive? Are they not?
No, that was
that
was the main argument. Was like that Adam was saying that a Hail Mary really isn't that impressive because it's all luck and whatever.
It sounds like that, but if he keeps doing it, it can't just be luck anymore. It's skill. He can't be that lucky every time.
I mean, I don't know. I just just kind of, I just kind of like tuned it out, honestly.
Yeah, like the Hail Mary in general, like the quarterback has to put it in the spot. And like from 50 yards away, putting a ball in a very specific spot is very hard to do. 50 plus yards away. Like,
well, Chris, you did play quarterback. You would know.
yeah.
And he did that twice in one game
Yeah.
against the Arizona Cardinals. He did that twice, and it shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, especially like when you think about like the throws that Rodgers made, especially like that game when he's got like two guys hanging on him and he's still flinging it 60 yards. There's a lot of throws like that from Rodgers. Caleb Williams had a few of those. Yeah. I think specifically it was the Jaden Daniels Hail Mary that Adam and I were at each other's throat over.
And then
that
when he
one
brought
was
up
lucky
Rodgers,
because he
and that
threw it
was
short. That one was lucky because Jaden Daniels threw it short and it just got to Noah Brown. I'll give Adam that one.
Yeah.
But so Rodgers, I mean, I do hate to say it, but part of me does feel like we probably should have seen more from him, from like a team standpoint. Although, I don't know. I'll get the good stuff out of the way first. He's debatably a top 5 quarterback of all time. He is, well, maybe not debatably. It depends on where you put certain players. It depends on how you factor guys like Drew Brees and Patrick Mahomes into that, obviously, but that's a debate for another day. As far as everything else goes, obviously one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever do it. He had a great arm. All those Hail Marys were, they were fun. And yeah, first ballot Hall of Famer by far. Definitely. I mean, when he's gone, think about it. He's pretty much the last one of like all the true greats that we watched when we were kids. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers. Like, they're all gone. I mean, you could argue that maybe Stafford's in that, but he's kind of a tweener there. But you could throw Stafford in there. It's literally just going to be Stafford and Russell Wilson, who's not even on a team.
I would throw Stafford in there just solely because he was pre-2010.
Yeah, well, that's the case.
That's
well, either way, you could throw him and like maybe Russ in there, and Stafford's only got a year or two left max, and Russ isn't even on a team. His career's essentially over. So yeah, this is it. This is our childhood going, fellas. Although to be fair, the league is in great hands. You got Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Drake May. Like they're all like Caleb Williams, Dak, Jordan Love, like Jalen Hurts. Like we got some good ones there. So it's not like we're hurting for quarterback talent here.
Yeah.
Nope.
But, oh, good gracious, man. It just sucks seeing everyone, you watched retire. But they're going to the Hall of Fame, so that's nice. But, yeah, the only real knocks against Rodgers were the lack of team success. And if you ever talk to a Packers fan about it, they swear up and down that he's the GOAT, and they'll point to Tom Brady saying, oh, you put him on New England, he would have more success, which that's not true. But,
I think him and Belichick would have had a fight.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why him and Belichick would have been at each other's throats. And second, Rodgers' constant demand for more and more money and him being known as one of the more selfish quarterbacks definitely hindered Green Bay's ability to give him more weapons and beef up the defense. I'll say, oh, the defense sold in the playoffs. It's like, well, maybe if someone wasn't taking up half your salary cap, that wouldn't have been a problem, but we may never know. But outside of that, I kid. That's not a knock on Rodgers. It's more his fans. And I've said this before. I've never had an issue really that much with Rodgers himself. It's always been his fans that I've had issues with. But yeah, Rodgers is definitely one of the greats. It was really fun to watch him play, and this is it. One more Pittsburgh Steelers special 9-8 season. He gets to do it with old man Mike McCarthy. Then he gets to ride off into the sunset.
Yep.
Yeah. What a career. What a career.
Truly.
Mm-hmm.
Last bit of general NFL news before we head into our AFC's preview and top 5 NFL safeties. Joe Schoen receiving a multi-year extension as GM of the Giants.
Why?
This is Joe Schoen.
The other AFC or the other NFC East teams are they're jumping for joy right now.
Joe Schoen is one of the more interesting cats in terms of GMs in the league, because on one hand, he's had some pretty good moves in terms of, again, guys like Jackson Dart, Abdul Carter. I mean, he drafted Saquon, but he also let Saquon walk for nothing to his division rival, who then ran for $2K and got a ring the next year. I mean, there's a lot of so much, like, there's good positive stuff, but the negatives are really bad. Like, the negatives really outweigh the positives in this case. But it's all in all, it's not fantastic. I mean, yeah, he's had a couple good drafts so far recently, but I'm interested to see how the rest of this kind of pans out. I mean, he got John Harbaugh. I mean, he's had 2 good head coaches roll through that, and he got 1 playoff win out of it. Or I say 2 because of John Harbaugh, and we haven't seen anything out of John Harbaugh yet.
Yeah.
Paid Daniel Jones up the absolute ass for 1 playoff win, and that was before he even gave him the extension. Yeah, it's like I said, the negatives completely outweigh the positives that Joe Schoen has done. And it's kind of surprising he got a multi-year extension.
I don't know what he has on the owner, but it has to be egregious, because there's no way I would have kept this man around longer. I would not have given him an extension. I understand he's done a few things well. Got Jackson Dart, bright side. Cam Scatterboo, bright side. Abdul Carter, bright side. Notice I am saying players in the draft because he's Malik Neighbors. I don't know what his future holds because, I don't know how he'll look come opening day, which is a bit concerning considering when the injury happened.
Oh, apparently Malik Neighbors is hurt again also. I don't know if you saw that.
Yep.
I heard, but I don't know how. Like, what is he doing? Like, did it happen during rehab? Did he just get set back? Like, that's my thing. But the negatives are just negatives. Saquon, let him go. The reason you have Jackson Dart is because you didn't want to take Jaden Daniels. Your own son told you to take Jaden Daniels, and you didn't do it. And then just stupidity, just one after another. And it's like, I wish they had another GM. Congratulations to him for extending his job, but I thought they would go in another direction, considering they have a new head coach. And I thought that John Harbaugh would insist that he would have like GM responsibilities, though I believe he was vehemently denied. And I thought they would actually get a new GM, but no, they stay with their guy, which I guess he's okay at drafting, but it's like, what's the point in drafting if you're not going to pay the guys to stay and they don't just leave anyway?
Yep.
And if they're not available, what's the point?
Yeah. Anything else to add on to this?
Like I said, every NFC East team I know is thrilled right now. And honestly, he got demoted, right? I mean, he's GM in name only. It's Harbaugh who's running the show.
Yeah,
so even if you did draft Dart and Scatterboo and all them, why does 1 year's fluky draft save your ass? It shouldn't. And maybe you could argue 2 years, but I'm sorry. Choosing Danny Derps over Saquon Barkley that's a career-killing mistake. And even more, watching Daniel Jones actually have like what should have been a career season before he went down with an injury. Before, when you leave him and you cut him, yeah. Honestly, he should have been given his walking papers as soon as Daniel Jones was actually, God help me, a viable option in fantasy football. So, yeah, the negatives far outweigh the positives. He had 2 good drafts, and now everyone's, oh, he's good, but I don't take him seriously. Free agency's been abysmal. Everything else has been abysmal. That Saquon thing and watching Saquon immediately win a ring should have gotten him fired. I'm like Tuck. He's got to have something on the owners.
Yep.
And, their former, hey, maybe he did. Maybe he did because, what's his name there? Steve Tisch, who was, I think, the VP of the Giants. I'm sure you all saw what came out about him. He was on that island.
Oh yes, he was on the Epstein
Oh,
files.
he was on that island. So maybe Joe Shane said, "Hey, I made him go away, and now give me an extension." Just food for thought.
Yeah, it's definitely some thought to go with that.
Yep.
All right. Step aside for a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into our top 5 NFL safeties heading into the 26th season, along with our AFC East preview. This is the Fumblerooski podcast.
It may not have always showed it in the stat sheet, but you can see him making throws when he needs to make the throws.
Back-to-back games where he has 3 touchdowns. Someone's got to get that 6 or 7 spot.
He's an elite wide receiver as a rookie.
Truly a lose-lose scenario for both sides.
All right. Top 5 NFL safeties heading into the 2026 season. Who would like to go first?
I thought we were doing this as a group.
Oh, are we? I didn't realize we're doing this as a group.
No, we can do it
I was not
individually.
told this either.
Wait, we're doing it as a group, or we're doing it individually? I thought we were doing it individually.
Yeah, that's also what I thought. Tuck, well, what's going
Chuck,
on?
where have you been, bro?
I've been working, guys. But no, we can do it individually.
All right. Are you ready to give your individual top 5?
No. I know who my 1 is automatically. I have to think where I have to maneuver.
Oh, I know who your 1 is, Tuck.
Let me guess.
I mean,
Kyle
it's
Hamilton.
To me, it's obvious.
Yeah, no, I would have Kyle Hamilton as my 1 as well.
Yeah, I mean, spoilers.
You know what? I'm going to rapid fire this.
Let's go rapid fire.
My number, by the way, I said this to Chris off camera, and I'm going to say it again. My top 5 is actually the same as last year, just different order. Like it's the same 5 because safety is one of those positions where it doesn't really change all that often, kind of like tight ends. But my number 5 is Derwin James of the Chargers. Yeah. Made another Pro Bowl last season, started 16 games, 94 tackles, 2 sacks, 7 passes broken up, forced fumble, 3 picks as he starts to transition to more of a coverage safety from the box. I think that's going to help him a lot. And last year I had a number 2, but now he's number 4. Is Kirby Joseph from the Detroit Lions. Obviously, he didn't put up those gaudy pick numbers like we expected, but still 3 picks, 4 passes deflected in only 6 games, I think is still pretty noteworthy. He'll be coming back next season, and I still think he'll be fine. And then, of course, my number 3 coming from the Green Bay Packers is Xavier McKinney. Started 16 out of possible 17 games, had 2 picks, 107 tackles, and a second career best 57.5% completion percentage when targeted. Green Bay was lucky to grab him for agency, and he still continues to be a valuable piece of that, that secondary. And now My number 2, y'all are gonna hate this. I got Kyle Hamilton of the Ravens.
I mean, I don't
Hey,
hate
look.
it as much as Tuck does, but
Look,
I
hear
mean-
me out. Okay? He did have 105 total tackles, but only 59 of them are solo. He had a sack. He had 2 forced fumbles, 9 passes broken up, no picks. Last season, look, I don't really hold that against him too much because he is very much a deeper than the numbers type of player. He always has been, where his impact is beyond the box score. But what I cannot get past last season, what I really, really cannot get past was the 4 touchdowns given up in coverage. That I want to see more in coverage from him, but outside of that, he's still better than most safeties in the league, except for my number 1, and that is Jesse Bates of the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, what else do I got? Another year, 98 total tackles, 3 interceptions, 6 passes broken up. He forced a fumble, only allowed 56.3% completion percentage. Yeah, I mean, he's still my number 1. He and Kyle Hamilton are really 1A and 1B for me.
yeah,
2 totally different players, though.
I think Jesse Bates was at himself fantastic. I think this
Yes, he
was
did.
a really good season to implement himself as a top 2 safety in the league. Evidently, I would agree though in terms of Hamilton and Bates could definitely be swapped in and out of 1 and 2 at that rate.
Mhm.
In terms of the rest of my top 5, I'd probably put Derwin James as 3 just because of how consistent he is. And he's never mind the fact that he can cover, he can fucking lay the wood. He can lay the motherfucking wood.
Yep, he still can. Pause.
Side note. Talk about laying wood. Pause.
Oh, great. What?
So I'm on TikTok last week, right?
Not
And
a strong start.
what?
Not a strong start.
Not a strong start at all. Nah, but come across this one TikTok, right? And it's Rams. Rams just headbutting each other. I don't know about you fellas, but whenever I see a video of 2 Rams just ramming into each other, head-on head collision, goodness gracious, does that do something to me? Like, that gets me fired up. I don't know what it is, but it makes me want to throw on the fucking pads and go pop some. I want to go get that first pop.
Yeah, I get it. I'm not sure if it's Rams that do it for me personally, but sometimes I'll see something. I'm like, yeah, I want to put the pads back on again.
Yeah, I want to get that first pop.
Yes, but then I realized I'm too old for this shit. And no, I don't want to put the pads back on after that first pop.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Can't go wrong with it, man. Just cannot go wrong with it.
Mhm.
Anyways, so what do I have? Hamilton, Bates, Derwin James. For number 4, I'm gonna go McKinney. For 5, I'm gonna go Buda Baker.
Really? Still?
Yeah. I don't know. Something about Buda. He's still an incredible athlete. And yeah. But I think that if we're going to be thinking about guys that are going to be top 5 safeties for next year, I got a feeling that Kobe Bryant's probably going to be up there.
Low key, yeah. If I'm thinking about, I'm thinking about who could be a top 5 safety next year, and well, I think I'm gonna do it like Chris, work backwards and forwards, or forwards to backwards.
Yeah.
One is Kyle, two is Jesse. I think that those are the obvious 1A and 1B. I originally was upset at CJ for saying, "Oh my God, Kyle is number 2," but I understand it. Jesse Bateman had a great year last year, and he popped off my screen. Like, there's some plays where he just made it. I was like, "Wow!" And I was like, "Hold on, is that Jesse Bates from Cincinnati?" Oh, he's found himself a home in Atlanta. I will say
Yeah.
that he's been playing well while he's down there.
Been playing
3
great.
Derwin, and then 4 Xavier McKinney, because I believe Derwin is still good enough to be a top 3 safety in the league. And I think there's going to be a drop off or someone's going to come up. But as for right now, those are the top 3 safeties for me, just due to their versatility. And then Xavier McKinney, ever since he's been in Green Bay, he's been reliable, and he's been their best DB in the secondary by far.
Yeah.
Whenever they need someone to make a big play, it's oftentimes comes down to him, and he more than often delivers. So he's my number 4. And then number 5, low key, the one out of Seattle, Julian Love. I thought about it. I was like, hold on, who else could I put? Curry Joseph, I was like, nah. I thought about Antoine Whitfield Jr., but I was like, didn't he just come off of injuries?
Yeah.
So I was like, can I really put him into the top 5? If he was healthy, then yeah, he's top 5. But since he's coming back from injuries, I'm just leaving him off for now, just for health reasons. And I'm putting Julian Love there.
Yeah.
He's smart, instinctive, knows where to get the football, and can make big plays in the big moments, i.e. in the Super Bowl, he made a big interception. I think he's severely underrated in Seattle's defense because he's in a Mike McDonald defense. But all in all, he comes from Notre Dame, just like Kyle Hamilton. So, of course, it makes sense for him to be that solid in the secondary. But all in all, I think he is a top 5 safety in the NFL right now. Will he stay there next year? We'll see.
Yeah. Wait, CJ, who was your number 5 again? Which line safety did you take?
He said
Kirby Joseph.
Yeah, I think my main reason why I didn't take a guy like Kirby was just because of the injury that he had, and he only played 6 games. So I was like, just doesn't feel right to put him in the top 5 with that in mind. Granted, I know I took a guy that only had 1 interception, but the Cardinals in general had just wasn't a great year all around.
Yeah.
And Buddha is still a guy that's able to fill the gaps. He's still able to fill the alley. So
I wonder how that defense is going to do, because they weren't bad last year. And I think Will Johnson will take another step forward. I hope, because, his knee.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They're just the weirdest thing. Like, their team is bad, but I wouldn't say their defense is bad either. They're just stuck. Is the best way I could put it.
All right. Give me one guy that you guys I said Kobe Bryant. I want you two to give me one guy that you guys see going top that could be top 5 next year.
Do I really have to? Ohio State guy, Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
Easy. I could see him immediately being a top 5 safety.
I could also see, maybe I'm biased, but New England Patriots new acquisition Kevin Byard, who had 7 interceptions last season, and now he's reunited with Mike Vrabel.
Led the NFL in interceptions, I may add.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Or at least was
Also,
tied for it.
Low key, because he was a rookie last year and he made some plays. Xavier Watts.
Oh yeah,
I could see him making splashes, and he's next to Jesse Bates, and so that'll give him more opportunities to make plays. And I think he's more than capable of it. Atlanta having possibly 2 top 5 safeties.
Yeah.
And as much as I want to glaze the Ravens right now, that's not going to happen. I believe in Malachi Starks, just not there yet. But we'll see this season. I hope so.
Yeah. All right. And that is our preview, or not preview. That's our NFL top 5 safeties going into the 2026 season. Let's look at the AFC East. Let's go bottom to top here. In terms of how we're going to look at the AFC East, which when I mean that, I mean the standings. So looking at the New York Jets, 3-14 last year, didn't come close to making the playoffs. They had a point differential of minus 203. The biggest point differential in terms of the negatives in the NFL this year. They did not get a single interception at all. They had a pretty good draft, though. This offseason, they did pretty well for themselves, including, the draft was the biggest one. They had 3 first-round picks, 4 in the first 2 rounds. David Bailey, Kenyon Sadiq, Omar Cooper Jr., D'Angelo Pons, cornerback from Indiana, were used in those first 4 picks. So you could say that they improved immediately. Geno Smith back in New York as well. Now you get a full season of Adonai Mitchell, which Lord knows what's going to happen with them or with him. Mason Taylor, Kenyon Sadiq, that's your tight end duo right there. Outside of that, Minka Fitzpatrick's he got added to your defense, Demario Davis. So Tavondre Sweat. So the Jets have definitely improved, but this is really going to more or less come down to head coaching with Aaron Glenn. And there was really times last year where I really thought Aaron Glenn was going to get the boot. I thought he was going to get the boot that week so many times. Just his clock management skills was just left to be desired, to say the least. And just like the way the team was the entirety of last year was like, what the fuck are the New York Jets? Which, I mean, as a Pats fan, was lovely. It was extremely lovely. But yeah. If I'm looking at the Jets schedule, I'm kind of just taking a peek right now. But if you guys want to give your takes on the Jets, please let them rip.
I think they'll be better than what they were last year. I think chemistry will be a lot better since Adonai is there for an actual year and he's not on the trading block that we know of. John Mechie is there as well. I think he can be a good slot receiver for y'all, for the Jets. Breece Hall is still there. They finally signed Breece Hall to a contract. About time.
Yep.
Kenyon Sadiq and Mason Taylor are your 2 tight ends. I see a lot of 12 personnel. Just a lot. And as a matter of fact, just put Kenyon Sadiq at X when you're in the red zone. Just do that for funsies. The offense has potential, especially since the O-line isn't bad. Now the defense. David Bailey's on that side of the ball. They have pieces, and then they got D'Angelo Pons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried about his height, but again, his heart has always been amazing considering what he's had to overcome with his height. So I think he may get beat with like bigger receivers. So I think quicker, short receivers is his forte. But I think he's a major upgrade in the secondary. And who knows, he may be the first person to get a pick for Aaron Glenn, which is kind of ironic because they're kind of the same type of player. But I like what they've done. And also Amari Cooper from Indiana. That's also their pick too.
Omar Cooper, yeah.
Yep. Just wanted to make sure. That's another weapon they can use on the offensive side of the ball. All in all, I think the Jets are going to be better, but I'm not sure how good they're going to be considering how stacked the AFC East is right now with the Bills and the Patriots.
Yeah.
They're definitely going to smack the Dolphins, but that's about it.
Yeah. CJ?
I agree with Tuck, but then I remember that Geno Smith is their quarterback, and I say, we saw how he was last year. Every so often, he'd have a game where he would just light it up because, he still has his big arm, but that's it. I mean, that's really it. And Aaron Glenn, I'm still iffy on him. I do think he deserves another chance given how much of a train wreck last season was and how much of a highly sought-after coaching prospect that he was. So I totally get that. But if you're the Jets, don't expect to make the playoffs. Don't expect really anything good. You're more box score watching. You're more looking at individual performances. You just want to see your young guys develop You want to see guys put together good individual seasons. This year is going to be a lost year for you. The name of the game, however, is development. Hang your hat on that.
Yeah. Agreed.
And tank for Arch Manning or Julian Sayin or whoever.
Yeah. Over under total wins this year. And we'll just use their win total from last year. 3. Over under 3.5. I feel like over. I don't think that's but like more like 4 or 5 wins.
Yeah, I think over, but not by a lot. Probably like 4 with a lot of but they'd be closer maybe.
Yeah, like they play the Titans week 1. I could see them getting like a weird week 1 win. Shit, who knows? Maybe a week 2 win against the Packers because it's the first 2 weeks of the season. They'll probably take 2/split against the Dolphins. Maybe they get another weird AFC East win against like the Pats or the Bills. But that's really it. Maybe they get like a week 18 win against the Bills because the Bills are sitting everybody.
Yeah, I only see 5 wins.
Yeah. Moving on, the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins being in third place, 7-10, point differential of -77. This was a team that was actually top half of the league in rushing yards this past year, 120, but they were 7th worst in points for. They were 8th worst in points against. The offense was not there passing wise, nor was the defense. And well, I think it's safe to say that this is going to be the worst team in the NFL, to say the least. I would be surprised if they get more than 2 wins.
Yeah, that team is going to be a struggle. Even though they have some nice pieces for the future, my God, they're going to suck.
Yeah.
But it could be like 2019 where we think the beginning of the season they're ass, and then all of a sudden they come on strong and then win games where they have no business winning.
Oh, yeah. I could definitely see that. I mean, like Malik Willis has been shown that he can win games. Devon Achane is your star-studded running back that will sell tickets. And then you have 3 wide receiver 3s that round out your wide receiver core. Boy, this is something. This is really something. And like your best defensive players like Josh Uche or maybe Willie Gay Jr., but that's really it. Maybe Jordan Phillips. But other than that,
maybe Chris Johnson Jr.
Yeah,
will be their best defensive player.
Yeah, and like they look, they also started out strong. You know, they had a good draft. They got Caden Proctor, they got Chris Johnson, Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech, or 2 Texas Tech guys for that matter, because Caleb Douglas. But other than that, this is going to be a rough season. CJ?
Yeah, Dolphins fans, you're in the same boat as Jets fans, but worse. You're more so looking for individual performances and watching young guys develop. That's all you have, and that's all you're going to have this season. I mean, it sucks, but that's just the way things are. I mean, I'm personally skeptical of new head coach Jeff Hafley. Maybe he can perform, maybe he can't. But I'm also, I seem to be the only one who's not super bullish on Malik Willis, because I'm a firm believer in the backup bump, and I could see him becoming like another Matt Flynn.
Yeah. It all runs definitely leading to that way. But over under 7.5 wins.
Under.
What's less than under? I would do that.
0.
Yeah.
Basically saying they're going 0-17.
Possibly.
They're not
There's,
going 0-17.
there's always a
It'd be
possibility.
funny if they did.
It's not impossible. I'll tell you that much. Well, actually, currently it is impossible to go 0-17 because no team has ever gone 0-17. 2 teams have gone 0-16.
Yep. Detroit and the Browns.
Yep. There has been a team that's lost 23 straight games in NFL
Tampa.
history. But anyways.
Wait, is
Moving
that
on.
Tampa? Who did that?
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was their first 2 years
Yeah.
of existence. That was a I don't know if I told you guys this. That was a trivia question that me and my buddies had like a couple months ago. And it was like, this team started their existence on a then NFL record losing streak. And I was like, oh. And it was like, what was, or maybe it was the maybe it explicitly said the Bucks. And then it was like, what was, how many games did they lose? And I was like, oh, like, there's no way they went, pretty sure they went 0-14, but how many more games did they lose after that? Anyways, Buffalo Bills, 12-5 last year. They were first in rushing, 15th in passing yards. They were tied for 4th in terms of points for, 28.3. 21.5 points against, which was 12th in the league. But yeah. So the Bills, obviously the big story with them is Joe Brady being the new head coach. And how is this going to play out? That's DJ Moore, new wide receiver 1 in Buffalo as well. So they finally got that guy for Josh Allen again. CJ Gardner-Johnson's in Buffalo as well. Bradley Chubb. Those are probably the 3 biggest acquisitions that the Bills could have gotten. And yeah, especially for a team that traded out of the first round. But
Again.
Yep. And expect the Bills to be watching the Bills a lot this year. They got a slew of primetime games. Thursday night football against the Lions, Monday night football against the Rams, Monday night football against the Vikings, Sunday night against the Kansas City Chiefs. They're also playing Sunday night against the Packers. A Saturday night game against the Chicago Bears. And they're playing on Christmas Day against the Broncos. So we'll be seeing a lot of Buffalo this year. In terms of the Bills, though, this is one of those things where, like, the Bills are going to be good. It's just a matter of how do you see them, like, how deep is the playoff run going to be this year? That's really what it comes down to. Maybe they make it to the AFC Championship. Maybe they don't. If we're going to put the line at 12.5 wins, I'm going to keep them under, and they'll have 12 wins exactly again this year. They'll probably get both against the Dolphins. They'll probably get both against the Jets. They'll split against the Patriots. They'll do the usual shit. And they'll also, or timeout, rewind. Split against because I'm looking at like this stretch of games right now where it's like, got the Ravens, the Vikings, and the Jets. I could see them weirdly losing just 3 in a row right there. Like they're going to be due. They're going to lose 3 weird-ass games in a row where everything goes wrong. Josh Allen is looking like a dumbass. Joe Brady's looking like a dumbass. Defense is giving up points. Like everything's going wrong for the Bills in these 3 games in a row. Shit. It could even start in this week 4 game against the Patriots, lose against the Rams, and then you lose against the Raiders. Shit. Let's add in the Ravens, and there's 4 in a row right there. That the Bills are going to have 3 or 4 games where they're going to look like complete dumbasses and lose 4 to 5 games. And that's my preview of the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. For some reason, I feel like Josh Allen and the Bills will have like 2 or 3 games where they absolutely have, like they should win, and then all of a sudden, what the hell just happened? Like the game against Atlanta last year. Like, there was no reason why they should have lost that game. Just Josh Allen played bad.
Yep.
Like, egregiously bad. But he'll have one or two of those games where it's like, okay, Josh, what are you doing? But then he'll have like 10 or 11 games. Like, he is clearly one of the best quarterbacks in the game. Like, he's head and shoulders above almost all of them. So it's like, I see them going 11-6. There's some teams where they should win but lose, and there's also going to be some teams where it's like it's understandable why they lost.
Yeah. CJ?
I don't care about the new head coach. I actually view him as a downgrade from McDermott. So my thoughts of the Bills are very concise. I think they're going to be good. Honestly, I think they're going to rattle off 12, 13 wins. Josh Allen's going to do his usual thing. He'll be in the MVP conversation. I think that they probably end up winning the division, honestly, but it's going to be the same song and dance. They're always going to be very good, but not good enough. I do believe this is just going to be another year where, plain and simple, they come up short because they just don't have that extra oomph, that extra little bit to get them over the hump. And I still don't think they have it. I'm not super high on DJ Moore. I think at this point in his career, he's a very high-end number 2. I don't think he's a number 1. Bradley Chubb is extremely injury prone, and CJ Gardner-Johnson is good when he decides, he cares. So it's literally just going to be Josh Allen and James Cook versus the world. And I think we're going to see another scenario in the playoffs, like against the Broncos, where Josh Allen is asked to do too much and he ends up playing them out of the game.
Yeah. Because having DJ Moore is great, but we've also seen DJ Moore not really he also got the wide receiver 1 job ripped from his hands. Let's not forget that.
No, absolutely.
Over under 12.5.
Maybe over 13. He's
Yeah.
gonna be 12 or 13. I'm leaning 12. Actually, give me the under barely.
I'll take the over, considering what I thought the Patriots would look like versus what they are right now, which is to clear up what we're about to talk about in the Patriots.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of the New England Patriots,
Just so
14
we're clear, now, not what you think they're going to be, what they are right now. That means
That's how this works. I'm glad we've cleared that up.
why? You think that I'm
no
just
AJ Brown right now? No AJ Brown.
Oh,
honestly, I think that even I'm gonna be careful with what I say because I might have there's a chance I might have the same take even with AJ Brown. Anyways, Patriots 14-3, runner up or Super Bowl losers, won the AFC, 4th in passing yards, 6th in rushing, 2nd in points for, 4th in points against. This was a team that people said had a soft schedule, and they fucking buried it up everyone's ass. In terms of the viewing eye for people watching the Patriots, it's an interesting one. Obviously you start out with the Seahawks on Wednesday night to open the season. That's for Wednesday night, not the Seahawks. I'm going to say this as calmly as possible. There is a chance that the Seahawks dog walk the Patriots on opening night, just because
it's more likely than not. Yeah,
it's
possible.
possible.
Thursday night football against the Bears, and then basically that's kind of the start of a slew of either 4:00 games, a London game mixed in there, or just primetime games all around. They still have a couple TBDs to end the year as well against the Broncos and the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
They have a random ass preseason game against the Browns that's on Prime Video. I don't understand that. I don't know why Prime Video is like, yeah, let's do this. Let's hear a preseason game. Okay. Geez. It's if you ask me how I saw the Patriots, just shortly after free agency, the A.J. Brown stuff as well, where everyone's like, A.J. Brown is going to be on your team June 1st with all this other added shit as well. And obviously this is saying this without knowing what the Eagles are going to get in return. But looking at the depth chart right now, your biggest adds, Romeo Doubs, Elijah Vera Tucker, and Kevin Byard. Those are probably your three biggest adds outside of like Draymond Jones. You beefed up the O-line. You got better in the secondary. And you got a very good linebacker as well. And maybe if you get A.J. Brown, you add even more to the wide receiver core, which would be fantastic. But my issue, and CJ is going to say the same damn thing too, is that, the Super Bowl hangover is going to be looming. And especially with this Mike Vrabel shit too, goodness, like the Super Bowl hangover is going to be looming a little bit more. You got a tougher schedule. So 14 wins is going to be a little harder to come by, to say the least. But, there's still some faith at the end of the day. You still got the Jets twice. You still got the Dolphins twice. You got the Raiders on your schedule. That should be an ass kicking. But other than that, you're going up against some solid teams here. So this is going to be, I think we'll get a nice tape. I feel like it's hard to really judge what the Patriots could be at the end of the season because, of all the bullshit with Mike Vrabel, all the Super Bowl hangover shit as well. It's hard to be like, yeah, Drake May is this type of quarterback because it's year 3. It's hard to kind of feel like you need to make a statement on that or have a generalized opinion on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will still love Drake May till I die. I'm kidding. CJ, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I think New England's in for a rough season. I saw a few predictions having them go 8-9, and low key, I don't disagree. I don't think it's going to be that bad. Like 8-9 is like the worst case scenario, like the wheels come off. And yeah, with the whole Vrabel thing, I don't know if their heads are going to be in the game. That's a huge locker room distraction. And just as New England was finally getting free of just the constant drama, there's now more. Like they've become one of the more dysfunctional, like drama-filled locker rooms over the past few years. Last year being a weird exception. It was like the final 2 years of Belichick and that 1 year of Mayo. It was just a nonstop circus, but whatever. Plus with the schedule, I mean, I think the team itself is fine. I think the schedule talk is just, used by box score watchers and losers alike. But for me, it's Super Bowl hangover. That's what it is. It's very, very real. And part of me worries that they're kind of going to be like the Cincinnati Bengals in their weird Super Bowl run back in 2021, where they just flat out peaked too soon. And they're going to struggle to get back. And that's what happens when these young quarterbacks go to the Super Bowl and lose. A lot of them rarely, if ever, make it back. And if they make it back, they don't win. I mean, the only ones that really did were Jalen Hurts and John Elway. And I don't know. I just think that with a harder schedule, but especially the Super Bowl hangover, I think they're going to go under 14 games. And you know what? I can already hear the comments because whenever I had issues with New England last year, some low IQ troglodytes that we all know, I'm looking at one right now, was like, oh my God, you're such a fake fan. You know that? Like, I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, because you're waving the white flag in the first quarter. That's why Adam and I say these things.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's all you two did was just give me so much shit. Like, oh my God, you're such a fake fan. You say I'm a fake fan now because I have concerns about this season too. Like, yeah, go turn on 98.5 and chow down on your fucking slop. I almost called it something very different, but that's what it is because that's what you know what? This is part of me, even with Pats fan, part of me is glad that I almost didn't grow up in New England because I guess I'd just be a sucky, sanctimonious, holier-than-thou human being, too, if I had to grow up listening to 98.5. And I grew up near Philly, so I know slop when I hear it. So
Bless
the
you.
next time any of you, including you, Tuck, decide to call me a fake fan, I hear bleach tastes pretty good.
Come on.
I'm just joking. It's all love. I love the three of you co-hosts. I'm just saying. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I love you guys. I love you, Tuck. I love you, Chris. I love Adam. Like, y'all are wonderful people. I'm just saying. So just remember, we're not going to call me a fake fan for saying I think they're going to struggle this year because Super Bowl.
I don't think that's fake fan at all. We're having a real conversation of what we think this season could be. It's my issue is when you're
saying, it's not
calling.
even you guys. Like, every time, even when I was with my Pats fan friends, where I would point out a flaw in New England, they'd just be like, "Oh, you're a fake fan." It's like every time, like it's such a low.
No, but like
IQ
when you're
line.
calling out the flaw, you're basically like, all right, that's a loss. We've lost, and it's the first quarter against the Jets. That's the issue at hand here.
Okay, sure. I mean, whatever. God forbid someone be.
It's not whatever. It's a true fact. But
no, it is kind of a whatever. It's like, God forbid you speak in hyperbole. See, here's the thing. I love to do that because if anyone else who wasn't me said that, you would, you'd be gargling their nuts. But when I do it, you'd have a problem. Okay. I guarantee you that if Felger and Maz and Jim Murray said exactly what I was saying, you'd treat it like the goddamn gospel.
I wouldn't, because I don't listen. You would. I don't listen to 98.5, so I don't. I hate most of those guys on 98.5.
Yeah. Okay, well,
you can say that to Adam if you want. He listens to 98.5. If you want to tell us Adam, by all means.
I mean, like I said, it's all love. I'm just saying it's all love. But I'm just saying,
I'm not
like,
be told
in fact, there have been literal times where I have
nuts.
purposely lifted some of their talking points just to see if you two would disagree, and then you do. Specifically you, Chris. But it's okay. We love you. You're my second favorite ginger.
All right.
I just say, I love you. I love the three. I'm just saying. Sorry,
Tuck, your thoughts
on how well the Patriots are going to do this season.
What are your thoughts on the Patriots? What do you think? What do you think they're going to do this year?
I think due to the Super Bowl hangover, that's going to have an effect on you guys as well. Also, the whatchamacallit of the Mike Vrabel situation. The last thing you guys need is your head coach being in the middle of the news media doing what he did, and then having to apologize on draft night. But I think it's going to take a while for the players to adjust. I think you guys are still going to be a playoff caliber team. I had the Bills going to be 11-6, 12-5, but they're going to probably be 13-4 because of the way the Patriots are going to play this year. I think you guys are still going to split, but it's just the Patriots themselves that are going to struggle a bit more. I think Drake May, though, will take a step in the right direction. I think he'll be a top. I'm not going I think he'll be objectively a top 5 quarterback more often than not. I think he'll be in the elite conversation. I just think he needs more weapons around him in order to be successful. Hopefully the O-line has solved itself. Hopefully we don't have to put Drake May on life support the way that you guys were blocking for him. The defense is solid. Hopefully you guys pay Christian Gonzalez sooner or later.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
I was wondering when that was going to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. So,
well, that's the thing is that they got to worry about Gonzalez. They got to worry about May. Those are going to be some interesting conversations as this year goes on. Kraft is, the front Patriots organization themselves have shown massive interest in getting these guys extensions, but man, it's, I don't know. I guess I'm getting a little bit of the CJs in terms of PTSD from the last 20 years of what has happened with guys getting second contracts, specifically secondary guys. But
well, no, it's not that. It's just it's the lack thereof.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. New England's been notorious. I mean, the last like true corner one, right? Actual like corner one that got a second contract with New England was Ty Law. I mean, think about it. Other than him, Asante Samuel did not, Aqib Talib did not, Darrelle Revis did not, Malcolm Butler did not, Stephon Gilmore did not, J.C. Jackson did not. So I think I have every right to be skeptical. And there are some people that actually want Gonzalez to be traded. It's like, oh, get him for assets. And to those people, I say, you are the fake fans. And to every Patriots fan who thinks we should trade Christian Gonzalez, you want to know what you remind me of? There's this meme. It's from Family Guy of Peter Griffin he wants to buy a boat. And instead, the salesman hands him a mystery box. He's like, oh, a boat's a boat. But the mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat. That's literally how you sound when you say you want to trade Christian Gonzalez. Just saying. Because there's like this one guy who was speculating. What was it? Greg Bedard speculating what could they get, and it's like that's there's no proof this is even happening. Like why are you even saying this? Like, oh, what could they get? It's like, how about you don't speak into existence, loser?
Yeah. CJ, going on along with the Ty Law thing, I was kind of doing a little research because I was like, when did he get it? That extent? He didn't even get it during the Belichick era. He got it while Pete Carroll was the head coach.
Oh,
that's how long ago it was. 1999, $50 million extension,
and worth every penny.
Oh yeah, they changed a fucking rule for him, or because of him.
Oh yeah, it was him and Otis Smith straight mugging Marvin Harrison Jr. at the line. The Colts cried for a rule change. That happened a lot when New England was good.
Yep. Colts love to cry about the Patriots. Wrapping this up. Over under 14.5.
Under.
Easily. 14.5? Under. Severely.
I'm not going to go 8 wins like CJ was.
Whoa. I said it was possible.
No, I know.
Why are you putting words in my mouth? It's what you always do.
No. I was saying what you were. If you let me finish, I would have said what you were referring to from the stuff you've been looking at. And so I was going to say, I would agree with you saying 10 wins. Let me finish. Let a motherfucker finish.
I'll say 11 and 6.
I thought about that, but every time I do that, I regret it.
I'm like 11 and 6 is probably the best thing for the Patriots this year.
Yeah, ceiling 11 and 6. I'd say that 8 and 9 that CJ was referring to would definitely be the floor.
Yeah, that's like I said, that's like everything goes to hell.
Yeah. No, everything goes to hell. They're looking like the Boston Red Sox. That's what it's looking like.
Oh, that's a story for another day.
Yeah. All right. And that is our preview of the AFC East. That's all the scheduled content that we have for you today. I don't know. Do we still want to do?
Yeah, let's do it. It'll be quick.
I want to see this.
Yeah, we're doing a reverse immaculate grid.
Yeah. So, Chris, can I?
Yeah, go for it.
So, for those of you who don't know, tonight we'll be doing a reverse immaculate grid. Can you see this? So it's where the players are all here. They're all, we got the 9 players in the rows of 3 and columns of 3, but we have to guess the team. So we have the players, now we got to figure out the teams. That's why it's a reverse grid. So for example, in 3 columns, we have a team that had at one point, or at different points, Nelson Aguilar, Marcus Mariota, and Jonathan Hankins. Then the next column, Algie Crumpler, Frank Wycheck, and Adrian Peterson. Then Hunter Henry, Austin Eckler, and Will Dissly. Then for the rows, it's Nelson Aguilar, Algie Crumpler, and Hunter Henry. Then Marcus Mariota, Frank Wycheck, and Austin Eckler. And then Jonathan Hankins, Adrian Peterson, and Will Dissly. I'm
not going to lie. I think I've already figured out 3 teams.
I have as well. Chris, let's just start with the obvious one where Pat stands. Yeah. Nelson Aguilar, Algie Crumpler, and Hunter Henry played all for the New England Patriots. Boom, there we go.
Yes.
And speaking of Nelson Aguilar, Well, I was just gonna say him, the one that has him, Marcus Mariota, and Jonathan Hankins. That's got to be the Raiders, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Boom.
Mariota, Wycheck, Eckler. That's Washington.
Yep. There's that.
Henry, Disley, and
then-
Eckler's the Chargers.
Yeah.
Well, Henry, Disley. Wait, whoa, yeah. Oh, Chargers. Yeah. You know what I just thought of? I think Crumpler, Wycheck, and Peterson is the Titans.
Yeah, it has to
Yes.
And so, yeah, we just blazed through this. See, it was fast. I told you
Wow.
that's what happens when we run long. So I have a theory. Jonathan
I think
Hankins,
that's
Adrian
Seattle.
Peterson. It is the Seahawks, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
Jonathan
gotta be.
Hankins, Adrian Peterson, and Will Disley. It must be the Seattle Seahawks, right?
Yeah.
And boom.
Wow.
100%.
Wow. That.
See, I
We-
told you it wasn't going to take that long.
Wow. We flew through that. That was interesting.
We might have to stick to the regular Immaculate Grid. Well, actually, this was kind of an easy one. I played some ones that are absolutely brutal.
Yeah, I mean, that's normally Immaculate Grid in general. There's going to be some easy ones, then there's going to be some brutal ones. So maybe next week we'll get one that is brutal. Who knows?
Possibly.
Mhm.
That was a good one though. Good find there, CJ.
Of course.
All right. Anything else that we have on our mind before we end the show?
The Knicks are going to the finals.
Yeah,
That's
Fuck.
all.
the fucking Knicks.
Who would have thought? Not me.
I
Not
would have
me.
thought. I would have thought after the Celtics freaking blew it, but
Yeah, I mean, basically, whoever came out of the East, regardless of whoever it was of all the 8 seeds, it was literally just going to be who's getting belt from San Antonio or Oklahoma.
Yep.
Could you imagine if the Knicks won a world title? I wouldn't. wanna
They
be
would
my-
make how Philly reacts to anything look like a drop in the bucket. Ugh, my God. If the Knicks win this series, I don't even think there's going to be a New York the next day. It's just going to be like Philly on steroids.
I've seen a few funny things in regards to like the Knicks. One of them was how if the Knicks make it to the finals, then Jalen Brunson is already the greatest Knick of all time.
Or at least top 3, yeah.
He's top 3, but he's not the greatest Knick of all time. He'd have to beat out Ewing and then Clyde Frazier, and then no.
There's another one that was talking about how the finals are more than likely going to coincide with the World Cup, and that Europeans or just foreigners are going to find out real fucking quick how much New York cares about their sports.
Yeah.
And that there's a chance that they will be they will be pulling up to Gotham City instead of New York City. But yeah, that'll do it for us tonight, though. Thank you for tuning in to another Tuesday episode of the Fumblerooski podcast. New episode coming out next Tuesday, 8 a.m. We're going to be talking about AFC North and cornerbacks.
Should be right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
wait, it's AFC North and corners, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we also have all our episodes available on all streaming platforms. Be sure to follow our Instagram, Fumblerooski_podcast, to keep up with the pod and the latest coverage of the NFL. Otherwise, we'll see you next Tuesday. Over and out.